Hey guys, yesterday we talked about multiplying using Mathman. If you remember, this means if a positive times a negative is going to give us a negative answer, right? Remember you cover up the positive for the positive number, and you cover up a negative for the negative, and your answer is what's left over. So the answer is negative. Awesome. We also learned that because of the commutative property, if you did the same problem backwards, it's going to give you the same answer. And you'll notice that this also follows Mathman rules. A negative number, cover that up, times a positive answer is going to give me a negative answer. This all makes sense. Now, what happens when we have a negative number times another negative number? If we were to use Mathman and say a negative, cover that up, times another negative, cover that up, Mathman would show you that my answer is supposed to be positive. And it is. Now, a lot of you are asking, why? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do this to us? So I'm going to show you why. Remember how we talked about groups and that multiplication was repeated addition? Let's take a look at what this means. So we've got -5 groups of -3. And you're thinking, wait. How can I have negative groups? All right, let's change this negative sign to a word that means negative. Remove. I need to remove 5 groups of 3. Oh, of -3, excuse me. All right, we understand what removing groups means. Let's look at it mathematically. First, I'm going to start with 5 groups of -3. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. Okay, I've got 5 groups of -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, instead of adding those 5 groups together, like we did yesterday, my directions here, because of that negative, say that I need to remove all 5 groups of -3. So I would remove this group, I would remove this group, I would remove this group, and this one, and this one. There. I have removed all 5 groups by using this sign. Now, what I hope you're noticing here is that this, with a remove, a negative, that's where we get into double negatives. That means +3, +3, +3, +3, +3. Oh, it's like a repeated version of the double negative. So of course, if I add 3 + 3 + 3 + 3 + 3, I'm going to get a positive 15. So why does a negative times a negative equal a positive? Because when you break it down into removing all groups of the negative, removing a negative would become a positive. Now, I hope that explanation helps you to understand why the math works out, but I'm going to be honest, at the end of the day, as long as you can use Mathman to get the correct answer, you're going to be okay. So, let's take a look at a few problems and make sure that you can use Mathman correctly. Okay, let's take these 4 multiplication problems and see if you can get the correct answers using Mathman in your notes. Pause the video and go. Okay, so for the first one, you should have gotten a -8. Second one, a negative 24. The third one should be a positive 35. And the last one is a positive 45. We didn't change anything about normal positive number multiplication. It's still positive. Okay, now that you understand multiplication, let's take a look at division. The good news about division is that it also uses Mathman. Yay! So, as we divide problems, we can use Mathman the same way we did as we were multiplying. Let's try a few. Okay, for these three problems, I'm using this sign as the division sign. Remember, for division, you could have the traditional division sign. You could write it like a fraction, or you could write it like a sideways fraction with a dash. All of these mean division. Okay, so let's get into it. We have negative 9 divided by 3. Well, 9 divided by 3 is 3. If I use Mathman, I would say the negative 9, cover up a negative, divided by a positive 3, cover up the positive. My answer should be negative. So I'm going to put negative 3 right there. My next answer, 24 divided by 8 is 3. Again, yay. Positive 24 divided by a negative 8. My answer is negative. Again. This one is a negative 36 divided by a negative 6. Well, 36 divided by 6 is 6. Negative 36, negative 6. What's left over? My answer should be positive. Okay, so division works with Mathman the same way that multiplication does. Now it's time to go practice. Have a great day.